Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the Law of One Spiritual Advice Podcast. My name is Elle. I come to you today to speak about the Law of One, the raw material. And today I have a section from session 17.2. This is going to be about, how to serve others, radiation of being, and mostly just how to assist others, because I assume that you would likely be somewhat of an empathetic being if you're listening to this, and with that comes a lot of hardship when you try to help other people. So this whole thing sort of will go into that, and the best way that you may be able to serve others and yourself. So all right, let's go into it. The quote begins with the questioner asking, "Is it possible to help an entity to reach fourth density level in these last days?" The answer from Ra. Ra says, quote, "I am Ra. It is impossible to help another being directly. It is only possible to make catalyst available in whatever form, the most important being the radiation of realization of oneness with the Creator from the Self, less important being information such as we share with you. We ourselves do not feel an urgency for this information to be widely disseminated. It is enough that we have made it available to 3, 4, or 5. This is extremely ample reward. For if one of these obtains fourth density understanding due to this catalyst, then we shall have fulfilled the law of one in the distortion of service. We encourage a dispassionate attempt to share information without concern for numbers or quick growth among others. That you attempt to make this information available is, in your term, your service. The attempt, if it reaches one, reaches all. We cannot offer shortcuts to enlightenment. Enlightenment is of the moment, is an opening to intelligent infinity. It can only be accomplished by the self, for the self. Another self cannot learn enlightenment, but only learn information, inspiration, or a sharing of love, of mystery, of the unknown that makes the other self reach out and begin that seeking process that ends in a moment. But who can know when an entity will open the gateway to the present?" Ra, the Law of One, session 17.2. End of quote. That one is a really good one. I posted just the end of that session yesterday, and coincidentally, I was just searching through the material this morning, looking for something to speak about, and I happened to run into this, and then I realized after I read the beginning that the end was what I posted yesterday. So, synchronicity is awesome, and I'll always run with it when it seems to run into me. Okay, so let's go into the quote here. First of all, is it possible to help an entity to reach fourth density level in these last days? What is fourth density level? Well, we are third density. We are in the density of choice, the choice to either serve others or serve the self exclusively. And the fourth density is the coming density. We're going to be ascending, graduating, whatever you want to call it. When you die from this body, you will essentially get to walk the stairs of light and determine if you have graduated to fourth density. So what would fourth density be? It's essentially love and understanding. It is like the equivalent of your fourth chakra. So if we're in the third density, it's quite easy to be activated and balanced, maybe not easy, but in the balance in the bottom 3 chakras. And then as the fourth density approaches, it encourages us to activate the fourth chakra, which is the heart chakra of love and understanding. So how do we bring people to love and understanding? The first distortion of the law of one is free will. So that is always important. Number 1, free will. This comes which is why they talk about having the dispassionate attempt to serve others, because it really does come down to the free will of other people. If they want to seek information and inspiration, they will seek it, and if you happen to be there to offer it, great. But often you'll find that, especially if you're somewhat of a new seeker to this type of information and material, you get very eager to share your understandings and your realizations and epiphanies with other people, and then you'll find that that doesn't really turn out the way that you thought it would. In fact, sort of like throwing pearls before swine. It almost ruins the experience. You should go to share something beautiful that happened to you, just to have somebody be like, just throw doubts, seeds of doubt your way, when the personal experience that you had was somewhat real. So that comes down to what kind of way is there to serve others. We often think the best way to serve others is to give information, specific information, and to give, certain stuff, like to give goods and services, and we're very physical beings, so we always think it physically, right? However, what is suggested in other parts of the material is the best way to serve is just through the essence of your being. And like, what do I mean by that? Well, if you use your free will to enlighten yourself, you should come to a certain understanding of realization of oneness with the Creator, which naturally will radiate as a certain level of love and joy and caring and humbleness and all this stuff. So really what speaks to people more is how you do the things that you do for them, and not what you do for them. So it's not what you give them or the information that you give them, but it's the love that you radiate as you do that. It's you think of maybe people that have passed away that you sometimes think of maybe what they did as a profession or this or that, but really when you think of the memories of them, you just think of the essence of their being. You think of their smile, their laughter, just the way they were sort of every day. That sort of thing really speaks to people more than what it is that you do. You can clean the toilet with love in your heart, and if you saw somebody in that position and they were just absolutely grateful for the opportunity and just filled with love and joy, that would just sort of blow your mind. You'd be like, hey, how are you doing this job, which seems to suck, but you're doing it in a way that is just making you happy and you're radiating love. Like, that will in essence wake up somebody way more than you telling them that, you stupid sheep, you're asleep, you need to wake up to the wider vision of things. So maybe everyone is aware of that, but I've been a new seeker for some time, and that's just a really common thing that you always run up against. So let me back up what I just said there with a little additional quote from Ra, which is from session 1730. So they indicate here, Ra says, quote, "The best way of service to others is the constant attempt to seek to share the love of the Creator as it is known to the inner self. This involves self-knowledge and the ability to open the self to the other self without hesitation. This involves, shall we say, radiating that which is the essence or the heart of the mind-body-spirit complex. Speaking to the intention of your question, the best way for each seeker in third density to be of service to others is unique to that mind-body-spirit complex. This means that the mind-body-spirit complex must then seek within itself the intelligence of its own discernment as to the way it may best serve other selves. This will be different for each. There is no best, there is no generalization, nothing is known." End of quote. Right, so there again, they're just reiterating that it doesn't really matter what you do. It's more just how you do it and why you do it and the intention behind what you do, what you do it or what you do. And in that, the radiation of self, the radiation of your being, which if we want to get technical is actually somewhat of an indigo thing. My understanding is, once you hit blue, it's the first outgoing chakra, and indigo is a radiation of oneness with the Creator. So when you meet there, meet intelligent infinity, like they say at a later part in the quote, that often is described as a unique meeting with the Creator, in which case some sort of inspiration is brought down. So naturally you would be grateful, inspired, loving of this thing when you're reaching that that chakra, that balance of being, and in that you are serving. So take note that you may think service to others is just service to others. It's obviously talking about others, but you can't serve others if you yourself haven't, taken care of yourself to a certain degree. How you seek and the things, the lowest possible things you demand for yourself, that will speak to others, and they'll reflect on why you do the things you do certain ways. Work on yourself. That is going to be somewhat the best way to serve others, because they will see you putting in the work and having the strength and to do that. And a lot of people don't have that strength, so you just give people strength by the essence of your being. I ask a lot of deep questions sometimes, and then that gives other people the strength and ability to ask those deeper questions themselves. Okay, now let's speak upon the need to get like the law of one type information to a lot of people. Counting and measuring is somewhat of the illusion of the physical. It's the somewhat of this service to self path in a way. What's better is acceptance of the moment and realization that oneness is to serve one, is to serve all. So if you are going out and seeking to make a say, for example, like an Instagram page, and you seek to get it out to thousands of people. I guess people that message me sometimes like, hey, I started this thing, can you please share it? And I kind of want to, but at the same time, it's sometimes those types of seekers are just seeking the reward of acceptance of many people seeing their things. But what radiates out most authentically, in my opinion, is just to pretend like you're just trying to help at least one person. If you go out there and you have the authenticity and the humbleness to just attempt to at least serve even one person, and if that one person is served and you feel great about that, that will speak to others on a deeper level. They'll notice that sort of thing. I like to think most people aren't that stupid. They notice these small things. So that's the way I have always sort of operated, reminding myself of this quote constantly: to serve one, to serve all. They say the attempt, if it reaches one, reaches all. It's because we are all a holographic projection of the Creator. The essence of oneness, if you get it, is the Creator is all. There's nothing you can do that does not serve the Creator. You want to serve yourself, you want to serve something seemingly outside of yourself or a different person. Those are all illusions. That's just the illusion of separation before you. It's literally impossible not to serve the Creator. So in that, just humble yourself and know that you teach yourself, you teach even one person, you assist all. So it's very important to remember that, in my opinion. Okay. And they say about the dispassionate attempt to serve others. I kind of spoke about that in a previous podcast. I used the word detached. I don't really like the word detached in hindsight. This is a better word, dispassionate attempt for growth of numbers. You should be passionate in your attempt to serve others, to serve just that one, but a dispassionate attempt for large growth of numbers. It's just measuring. It doesn't really matter, And to clarify that, I would just bring up another quote from Ra, which talks about this sort of detached, dispassionate attempt, if you will. So just to clarify, at least the way I'm thinking about it, even though I may not be describing it this way, I'll just read this quote and then maybe it gives you a better idea of what I'm trying to get across. So in session 42.5, Ross says, "Balance is not indifference, but rather the observer, not blinded by any feelings of separation, but rather fully imbued with love." So it's not that you're not separating yourself from the growth of large numbers. You're just more so understanding the true realization, which is that to serve one is to serve all. You truly understand the connection of oneness, in which case you can see the situation with love, which is that maybe you're attempting to serve somebody and they seemingly don't want your service. Well, that is their free will, and so you can go on your day, because the first distortion of the law of one is free will, and you are being a loving being by respecting that person's free will to seek at their own pace. And with that, I think, us types of folks, we can bring a lot of weight off of our shoulders if we remember that free will aspect. You just go out, you radiate the oneness of the Creator within yourself. Just you seek to understand this information. Just let it flow through you spontaneously. You don't need to have some really crazy, awesome service that is out there and just is impressive to other people. My understanding is with this holographic projection nature of the Creator, the service is always right in front of you. If you, the better thing to do is to perceive the love in the moment. You do that. If you don't see the love in the moment, maybe that's why you're there, to inject some of it. But often it's more just realizing the love in the moment, and it is always there, and there is some form of service that you can do, whether that be, being kind and taking care of yourself, or doing that to others as well. So just kind of important to remember that serve one, serve all. You do you, let other people do themselves, and, who can know when an entity will open the gate to the present. Thanks so much for listening, everybody. I hope you have a wonderful rest of the week. If this information spoke to you, made sense to you, you can get links to it at my website, theoneinfinitecreator.com. And, we have Facebook and Instagram, The Law of One. You can come check us out there if for some reason you found this podcast and weren't aware that that's where I mainly started all of this. But yeah, thank you for listening, and I will be back Friday with another one. Have a great week. Love you guys. Take it easy.